This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we registered for one of the Salesforce free account. Okay. In general, if you want to start with Salesforce and understand how Salesforce works, first we need to register in one of the website called developer.salesforce.com. Okay, this is the website. So by this time, I believe all of you are able to register. Okay, all of you, you should have your own account. You need to click on sign up and fill the details and have the account. Once you register, once you have the Salesforce account, it is like a production. Production means the live environment. Okay, so where the client live application will be executed. So the URL to log into the account is login.salesforce.com. On day to day, to access our account, we need to open a website called login.salesforce.com, and we need to enter the username and the password and access our account. That's what we need to do. Okay, so this is username, giving the password. So click on login so that you will be logged into the account. Okay, going forward from tomorrow, I will be giving access to this account. Okay, but the reason why I am providing access, whatever I configure in the class, you can log in and see how I configured, and you can practice in our own account. For practice, you need to use your own account. You should not use our class account. Now, at present, one of the user Abhi, right? Abhi is user registered for the account, and going forward, we also create few more users. Those users also can log into the same Salesforce account, right? At present, we are assuming that it is Airtel company, right? So this is the production. Okay, so now once this Airtel company, once they have the production, they can explore about the standard applications, whatever Salesforce offer. Okay, we discussed that Salesforce is providing software as a service. As a software as a service, Salesforce is providing CRM applications. Salesforce classified these CRM applications into 3 different categories. Okay, so one is marketing. You see one application called marketing, and one application called sales, one application called service. Okay, these are the 3 major applications as part of the CRM process. So let's explore about these applications, okay, and understand how in general end users means the employees of the Airtel, how they use these applications to run the business. Okay, that we are going to understand. Okay, yeah, I think someone is not in mute. Okay, so once you join, please stay on mute. Okay, now the thing is, let's go to Salesforce to see the applications. Right, once we log in, so whatever we are seeing, we call this one as lightning experience. Right, to open the applications, you need to click on App Launcher. Okay, so App Launcher means these dots. Here, whatever the dots you are seeing, you need to click on that one. Okay, so going forward, I say App Launcher. When I say App Launcher, you need to understand, you need to click here, right? So let's click. So click here. Here you can see the application. You can search for the applications. If you are not satisfied with the results, you can also click on View All, so that it opens like this, right? So it opens like this, and here you are seeing all these applications. Okay, so here one of the most important application, marketing, right? As part of the CRM marketing, and we also have sales application, we also have service application, there are many other standard applications. So all these applications are by default available as soon as any customer register with the Salesforce. So any company initially if they register, by default all these are available, right, as a ready-made. So now let's say they want to explore about the marketing application. So click on marketing application. Okay. So now if you see, it is opening the marketing application. Okay. So before we access this, we need to understand about some basic terminology of the Salesforce. Okay. Before we start, okay, basic terminology when compared to other technologies. So here in Salesforce, we call one project is like one application. Let's say going forward, company needs an application for recruitment process. We create one application. Going forward, company needs time of request, one of the application, right? So for each project, it is like one application. Okay. So here in Salesforce, application means project. Okay. In Salesforce, we say application, but when I say application, it is like one project, right? And also, maybe let me reverse this. Say project in Salesforce we call as application or app, right? And in general, if you want to store the data, how we store? We create a table. In the table, we can keep the data, right? So maybe on day to day, we call table, which will be having some data. Here, technically in Salesforce, we call table as object. Okay. So going forward, when I say object, you need to understand it is a database table having some information. Okay. That is a terminology. Okay. If you are from some other technical background, you might not be knowing about this, right? And also in the table, right, we see columns, right? Table, let's say, for example, contact table. Contact, first name, last name, email, mobile number, all those are the columns. So the columns in Salesforce terminology we call as fields. One column we call as a field, right? Just to understand. And also the rows in the table, right? The data, whatever present in the table. On day to day we call as rows. And here in Salesforce we call those as records. Here, terminology wise, these things we have to understand. Okay. Maybe if you want to understand with some example, so let's say, so I'm opening one of the Excel file, right? Google Sheet I'm opening, and I'll try to explain to you. Go to Google Sheets. Okay, so let's say, so if you assume that this is a database, okay, so we have Salesforce database. In Salesforce database, there can be multiple tables, right? So let's say this is a Salesforce database. Okay, in short, Salesforce we call as SFDC. SFDC means Salesforce.com. Okay, when you search for the job, you see job openings, SFDC admin, SFDC developer. So SFDC is the short form for Salesforce.com. Okay, so let's say if you assume that this is the database, right? So we can create multiple tables. Each sheet is like one table, right? So I can say contact table, right? So I can also create one more. Let's say I'm saying accounts table, okay, like this, right? So each sheet is like one database table. And when you say contact, let's say contact first name, contact last name, email, mobile, right? So all these are the columns, right? So this is the table. Table name is contacts. In that table, first name is one of the column. This one is one of the column, right? And we keep some data, right? So let's maybe keep some information here. I'm giving some name just for our testing purpose, right? Okay, so let's say this is a table, right? So on day to day, so this we call as table, but in Salesforce we call this one as object. Okay, and this we call as column, first name column, last name column. In Salesforce we call this as first name field, last name field, email field, like that. And these we call as rows, row 1, row 2, right? So here in Salesforce we call this one as record. Okay, terminology wise there is a difference. So otherwise it is like simple table. Okay, just understand. So and also when you have the table in the database, okay. So when you are accessing from one of the web page, right? From one of the web page, how you access the data present in the database. So in general, we need to write the queries. Okay, in database, if there is a data, if you want to get the data, so we have to query so that we can read the data from the database. Or if you want to modify the data, we have to use some TML statements, right? Data manipulation language to modify the data present in the database. But in Salesforce, without writing all these commands, we have tab. Okay, tab. So the tab, what it will do, whenever you click on a tab, it will be displayed on the web page. Whenever you click on the tab, it will be connected to one of the object. Object means the table. And whatever the data present in the table, it will bring and show on the web page, right? On the UI, the web page where we see. I'll show you practically so that you will understand. Okay, this is just a terminology. So now if you go back to this application, whatever we have opened, once you log in, when you click on app launcher, when you choose the marketing application, so this is the name of the application. This place is for the name of the application, right? So since we choose the marketing application, if you see here, whatever you are seeing, all these things we call as tabs. All these are the tabs, right? When you say, if you see campaigns tab, right? Internally, this tab is connected to a object called campaign. Object means table, right? Whenever I click on this campaigns tab, internally system will execute some business logic in the background, and it will query the data from the database and show on the UI. From our side, no need to write any command. All we need to do, click on that, and it will get the data and show on the UI. So that's what will happen. Okay, this part we call as tab. This is the application name. All these are the tabs, right? So for marketing application, on day to day, the marketing representatives, they deal with all these tables in the database. These are the frequently used database tables by the marketing team. That's why Salesforce, they are showing as part of this application. In Salesforce, application is nothing but the collection of tabs. That means multiple database tables, what the marketing representatives use, all those things they are keeping one after other, right? So collection of tabs becomes an application in Salesforce. Okay, now let me click on campaigns tab, right? So here campaigns is a tab. When you click on the campaign tab, internally system executes some business logic and bring the data from the Salesforce database, right? And also, if you see, instead of getting all the data every time, right? Let's say in the database, if there are 10,000 records, every time we don't need 10,000 records. Most of the times we want to see only recently created records, right? Recently created campaigns, whatever recently people are dealing, only those things they want to see. So that's why, so to apply some filter and see what we want to exactly see, so we have a concept called list views. So what this list view will do, instead of every time bringing all the data from the database, here we can apply some filters and get only whatever the data we need, only that we get. Okay. So in general, so since this is a standard object, right? Object means table. The standard table provided by Salesforce. So all these list views are by default provided by Salesforce. So here recently viewed means as a current logged in user, right? We logged in as Abhi. Whatever the records viewed recently, only those it will show. Because first time we logged in and we did not see any records so far, it is not showing. If you want to see all the records, you can click on all active campaigns so that it will show all the records. Okay, now if you see all these records are displayed. But if you see, yesterday only we registered for this account, right? So far we did not create any data in the table. Because since it is a free account, and we need to understand how these tables works and how we deal. Salesforce provides some sample data. Okay, this is a sample data provided by Salesforce. Even if you register and if you log in and see, you will also see the same number of records. Somehow, if you don't want to have these records, you can delete and you can create whatever you want. Right? It's just for testing purpose. In production, they'll be deleting all these and create as per what they want. It's like that. Okay. So now, if
Srini,
you see this, yeah.
yeah, I can't see any like under campaigns. I don't see anything that is provided by Salesforce. It's empty for me. I just logged in.
Yeah, so the thing is we have list views. If you see here, if you click here, we have list views. Maybe when you
Uh,
open, it might
okay.
be selected with recently viewed. Okay,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
recently viewed.
Sorry. Got it.
You don't see anything. Okay,
Yeah. Thank you.
so if you choose this, now it will show all the records. Okay, so now the thing is here, this one, right? Column, right? But here in Salesforce, we call this one as field. Campaign name is one field. Start date is one field. End date is one field. Right? All these are the fields. Columns and fields both are same. Right? Terminology wise, it is different. And also, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, all those are the records. You can say rows or you can say records. Salesforce terminology we call as records. Right? So this is a object name, right? Campaign. So this is how it looks. Okay, so let me open. We can also open one of the record to see detailed way. In a detailed way to see information, we can click on this and open the record. Okay, so now I'm clicking on one of the record. Right, click on this link. So this is one of the record. Okay, so when it opens, it is looking like this. So here, the top part, whatever you are seeing here, right? This part. So all this part, whatever you are seeing, this one we call as highlights panel. Highlights panel means the most important key information. If someone want to understand what is this campaign, what are the key attributes, like key data present. So all those fields, right? Fields means columns, right? All those fields will be added here. So mainly, what is the type of the campaign? Is it a email campaign, or it is a stage show, or it is a TV advertisement? All those kind of things. And the status, I think this campaign is completed, in progress, new, start date and end date already that is gone, right? So it's like that. So these are the key fields, and this particular part we call as highlights panel. Okay, And also related means the child tables. Okay, one table can have multiple child tables. So to show multiple child tables, all information we see here. Okay, going forward, you will understand how exactly we do. Now, if you want to see the details of the record, you can click on details, and here you see all the details. You see all the details. Campaign owner, so campaign name, active, right? So all these are the fields, right? Fields means columns. So fields available, and this is what they fill. Okay, so here the expected revenue due to this campaign, they're expecting this much, right? And budget 25K US dollars. And so far, how much they spent? 23,500, right? So all these details they capture here and maintain. Okay, so that due to this campaign, so how many leads are generated and all those things they'll track. Okay, so that's about the campaign, one of the standard table. Now we open one of the record and understanding how it looks. Want to create the new campaign, that is also for that we can click on the campaign tab, and on top if you see we have one of the button called new, right? Without writing any code, with point and click we can do all those kind of things, right? So I'm clicking on new. That means we are creating a new campaign, right? So this is the new campaign form. We can fill this and we can save. So here star means required. If you don't populate the required fields, if you click on save, what will happen? It will throw error, right? It is saying that this field is required. So at least required fields we have to populate. Okay, so the other things which are not required, those are optional. If you want, you can populate later. Okay, so now the campaign name. So I'm just giving the campaign name as email. I'll say John 2022 email campaign. Okay, so like this, marketing reps they give the name, whatever as per how they are creating, and I'm making it as active and type. Okay, so we have different types. You can choose email. Let's say whatever the type client want, if it is not there in this list, we can create whatever we want. That slowly going forward we'll understand. For that only we do the administration. Now we are understanding this application as an end user, right? So end user, how they use the application, that's what we are seeing. So they will be having requirements. They want one more quick list value here, right? So for those things only we work. Going forward, we work for those kind of things. For now, I'm choosing email. You can choose start date and then date. Maybe I want to populate that later, right? Budget, all those things I want to create later. Just save, right? That means we created one of the row in the campaigns table, right? One record we created in the campaign object. Okay. Now, so I think in general, after joining, please by default stay on mute. Okay. So now if you see, we created one of the new record, right? So we can also modify this one, right? We created a record and now I want to modify. You can modify. Click on details and now let's say I want to give the start date. So click on edit. So maybe you can click on edit from here. Otherwise, on top, right? On top, if you click here, you see edit. From here, you can edit. It's up to you where you want to edit. Okay. So now I'm giving start date from Monday and click on save, right? So this is created. Now this campaign is created and it is active, right? So we are able to update. So now I don't want, somehow due to some reason, I don't want this. We can also delete. Okay, so let's see how we delete. You can click on this. Okay, so more. And so these things we call as buttons or quick actions. People say button or people say quick actions. Technically, it is quick action. Okay, so you can click on delete. Are you sure? Yes, delete. Right? So this is deleted. But after that, again, I want that. Due to some reason, again, I want to have that. Right? So after deleting, in general, the deleted records will be available in the recycle bin. From recycle bin, again, we can undelete. Okay. So let me click on this app launcher to open the recycle bin. You need to click on this app launcher. Okay. Click on app launcher. Click on view all, or maybe directly from here also you can search. Right. Click on app launcher. Here, recycle bin. Right. Search for recycle bin and open. So the deleted records will be available in the recycle bin. And from here, again, you can choose and the restore. Restore means again, it will be moved to the campaign table, right? So that's what will happen. And here, one of the point, after deleting the record, it's not that it will be there forever. Okay. Once we delete any record, the deleted records will be available in the recycle bin only for 15 days. That is one of the limit. So Salesforce enforce many limits. It's not that we utilize everything unlimited. Okay, the reason why Salesforce enforce limits, we work in a multi-tenant environment. Right? What is that multi-tenant environment? To understand. Now, yesterday we discussed about the server concept, right? So we discussed that. So this is my laptop. From my laptop, I'm opening the Salesforce, right? So where this Salesforce, whatever we are seeing here, all this data, where it is there in one of the server, right? Salesforce, they have hundreds of servers. If you see Salesforce company, they have hundreds of servers. In one of the server, whatever the data here we are seeing is there. Okay, is that server is only for us? We registered for Airtel company, right? One server will be given to Airtel company? No. In the same server, some other company's information also will be there. Let's say Apple company, they have CRM, right? Let's say Philips Healthcare, they have CRM. Okay, so all those companies also might be having space in the same server, right? So that means all the companies sharing the same server space. Okay, so since the same server space is shared by multiple companies, Salesforce is enforcing some limits because they cannot give unlimited. There is a bandwidth, there is a memory, whatever is there, everything to maintain the server in a proper way without hitting some of the button and making the server slow. Salesforce enforcing some upper limits for each and every features. Those limits technically we call as governor limits, right? So I'll explain going forward. So now for us, in which server we got space, right? I'm saying in one of the Salesforce server, we got the space. What is that server name? Each server will be having a name. We can also see that name. Okay. Now, if you see all these are the servers, so one of the server, that server might be having a name. We can also see that. Okay. So if you want to see our Salesforce organization server name, where it is, click on this gear icon. On top, you are seeing this gear icon. Click on that one and click on setup. Okay. So once you click on setup, we are in the setup area. How we confirm that we are in the setup area? left side you will see setup. That means we can understand we are in the setup area. So once you are in the setup area, left side, you are seeing quick find, right? In that, search for company information. Okay, search for company information. Click on company information, right? So now this is the organization name. This is the primary contact. Now if you see here, ours is a developer edition account, right? And if you see instance AP27, so we got the space in AP27 server. AP means Asia Pacific, where we can see all the available servers. There is a website. Okay, so if you see the notes, whatever I provided to you, on top all the important websites are there. Okay, so now, so one of the website to see the Salesforce server, if you see here, so this is the website. Okay, I'm opening that website and I'll show you. Open. And here you need to choose this status.salesforce.com, because nowadays Salesforce company, they acquired many other companies. Okay, so specific to Salesforce, if you want, you can click on the status after status.salesforce.com. And the left side, choose Salesforce services, the first one. Okay, so now you see all the available servers, right? If you see AP0, AP means Asia Pacific, AP3, AP4, right? All those are the servers. And also you see AUS, AUS means Australia, right? So Asia Pacific means maybe not, maybe it might not be in India, in one of the Asian country, right? So nowadays Salesforce also introduced IND servers. IND means India, right? So EU means European region. So Japan, these things are recently added by Salesforce. If you see here, the list, all these are, if you see, if you are scrolling and you are seeing many servers, all these are like this, right? Like this, all those are the servers, right? So we got space in which server? If you go back and see AP27 server, right? So go back and see AP27. This is the one. We got space in this server. And also here we have this available. That means server performance is good. It is up and running. So if you see this symbol, there is a problem with the maintain. I mean, there is a, I think it is not up to the mark. There is a performance problem. Okay, if you try to access your application, it might be very slow. So that's the meaning. Service disruption means you cannot log in Salesforce. Let's say the server is down. You cannot log in also if the server is down, right? So that time you'll see this one. So this is for maintenance, right? So but our server is up and running, right? Our server is AP27, and open this one. You can also open that and see now everything is working fine, all features. And also if you click on the history, right? I mean everything, there is no problem recently about this server. Maintenance. Okay, so here maintenance means what will happen. Salesforce, they release new features 3 times in a year. Every year Salesforce, they release 3 versions with the new features. Those versions we call as winter, spring, and summer. Okay, so maybe to show you, if you see here in general, you see winter, spring, and summer. Okay, so it starts with winter. After that, year name, right? So at present, winter 22 version is going on, right? After winter 22, spring 22, and after that, summer 22. So keep on. After summer 22, again winter 23. Every year, Salesforce, they release 3 versions. Okay, so sometimes we want to know when will be the new version release, right? What is our current version? If you want to know, let's say a client asked, what is the version? Okay, so what we do, so first we identify what is this instance, AP27. Okay, go to trust.salesforce.com, AP27. So at present, if you see, this is the version, winter 22 patch. I think patch means some minor bug fixes. So this is the version. Okay, so when will be the spring 22 version will be updated? Okay, if you see here in the maintenance, you can see. You see here in February 12th, on February 12th, they are releasing the spring 22, the major version, right? So these kind of things we can see. Okay, as a administrator, as a developer, if you know all these things, you can easily work when you start working. Okay, so just understand about that. So it's not that one server is allocated for us. There are many companies in the same server. We got space in AP27 server. In that same server, many other companies' information is available. Each company, they will be having a limit, how much data they can store. And for each feature, there are some upper limits. Those limits we technically call as governor limits. Okay, so one of the governor limit, whenever we delete the record, the deleted record will be available only in the recycle bin for 15 days. These limits will change. Maybe in one of the future release, instead of 15 days, they'll also can make 1 week, right? Long back, it was 45 days. Later, Salesforce reduced this to 30 days. After that, now 15 days, right? When you try to search in Google, you see some answers. How many days the deleted data available in the recycle bin? You might see 45 days. But if you see when that person replied, maybe 5 years or 7 years back, right? So these limits, we have to believe only the official documentation, okay, not some blogs or some of the forums. People might be replied long back and might not be updated. But when you read the Salesforce official documentation, whenever they release the new version, if there is a change, they'll also update the documentation. Okay, so now I'm restoring, right? Click on this one and the restoring. Again, now this data came back to again the table. This is the record we created, right? So like that, if you see without writing any commands, we are able to see the existing records. We are able to open one of the record. We are able to create a record. Record means a row in the table. We are able to update, delete, undelete, all those things we are doing. Okay, now if you observe the campaign, this is how they give whether it is active or what is the type, what is the start date, what is the budget, how much they spent, all those things. Okay, so due to the campaign, leads will be generated. Right now, if you see there is one more tab called leads, click on leads. Right, mostly the marketing representatives in the company use this application. After giving advertisements, they'll be looking into the leads, how many leads generated. So leads, when you click on the leads tab, this is a tab. It will internally connect to leads, one of the standard object, and show the data. But since recently we did not see anything, it is not showing anything. If you want to see more records, choose this all open leads. Now if you see all this is the test data provided by Salesforce. Right? If you don't want, you can delete and you can create as per client requirement. Okay, for us as an administrator developer to test, we need some test data. For us, it's useful if we have. Okay, now I'm opening one of the lead, right? So click on lead. Now the top part we call as highlights panel, right? So in the lead, the main thing, this is the name of the lead. Miss Bertha Boxer is the name of the lead. Title, right? That person in the company, the title for that person is Director of Vendor Relations. That lead is working in this company, Farmer Scoop of Florida, right? Maybe the office phone number and the contact, right? So these are the key details about the lead. whenever any marketing rep, if they want to call and inquire whether they are interested about the product or not, they see these details, maybe they'll quickly send email, or maybe they'll call and try to interact, right? So now, if you want to see the details, you can click on details and you can see even more details. Okay. So if you see the name, so maybe if you try to expand, you see here salutation, Mr., Mrs., first name, last name, company name, title in that company. So this is how they capture, right? Let's say if you take our Airtel example, one of the company, they need Airtel internet. So that time, so who contacted, so that person name they capture here, from which company they contacted, let's say Coffee Day, they capture here. In Coffee Day, the person who contacted, what is the role? Maybe administrator. So those kind of details they populate, and maybe Coffee Day, what is the annual revenue, all those things, and same. So that's what how the marketing reps they maintain the information. And also once the lead is created, it's not that they are going to proceed further and maybe take the product or service, right? So this company, Airtel company employees call to the customers and inquire whether they are interested or not. So based on the interest, right? Let's say sometimes when they call, they say, call me after 1 week. They'll say working contacted, and again after 1 week, they'll call and verify. So if they say they are not interested, they mark as closed or not converted. The lead, somehow lead is generated, but still now they are not interested due to some reason. Okay, we can say closed or not converted and say. That means going forward, the marketing rep, they cannot call to, they don't call to this lead. It's like that. So let's say lead is interested to know further details, right? So what is the plan, how much discount they are giving, all those things. So once the lead is showing interest to proceed further, lead will be marked as closed converted. Right now, if you see based on this, if you see here, this we call as lead path. Okay, so based on the status, you see this progress here. Okay, so maybe for example, if you see again, I'm marking the status as working contacted. Now, if you see that path, right, working contacted, right? So because instead of looking into this field and understand, if they see visually like this, easily they can understand this lead is converted or not converted or it is in progress, right? So people also can click here and select converted status, right? And also now if you see along with let's so when we choose this one and when you choose anyway, once the lead is marked as converted, the lead will be converted into account, contact, and opportunity. Right? So either you can click on this one, or so how people do, they will choose closed converted, and later you'll see a button called convert. Okay, you need to click on convert so that this lead will be converted into account, contact, and opportunity. Okay, account means the company in the lead, right? Whatever the company information is there, that will be captured as account. And contact, whatever the personal information is there, first name, last name, phone number, email, all those things will be captured into contact. Deal, right? What they want, that will be captured into opportunity. So we also have some settings going forward. I'll show you. In general, for the standard fields, right? We'll say columns, whatever the columns we call as fields. Salesforce, they defined standard mapping. As per that mapping, which field of this lead should map to which field of the account and contact and all those things will be decided. Okay. So now let me convert this one. Converting. So while converting, for sure we need to choose account and contact. Converting into opportunity is optional, right? Opportunity means deal. Maybe I want to create that later. You can skip it, so that only lead will be converted into account and contact. So let's say one of the client requirement, they want to convert only into contact. They don't want account. That is not possible. Okay, with the out of the box feature. People say out of the box feature. Out of the box means the standard feature, whatever Salesforce provide, as per the Salesforce standard feature, there is no way to convert the lead without choosing, either without creating or choosing the existing account and contact. We cannot convert. Okay, account and the contact is required. Opportunity is optional, but client requires, they want only contact, they don't want account. That's the requirement, and they are not agreeing. Okay, so that time we have to provide the solution in a custom way. For that purpose only, we need to do the development. So as part of this course, so we have two modules, right? So we have Salesforce. As part of the Salesforce, we have administration, we have development, right? Administration, people say admin or maybe configuration, right? People sometimes say administration, sometimes say configuration. So this part we have. So far, mostly whatever we are doing is point and click only, right? We are clicking on a tab and we are seeing the information. Some of the requirements we can achieve with the point and click only. There are point and click tools provided by Salesforce. Without writing any coding, we can configure and achieve the client requirement. That module we call as Salesforce administration. Okay, so some requirements we cannot achieve like that. For example, skipping to create the account is not possible. So what we need to do in a custom way, we need to develop the UI which can show pop-up like this, similar to this, but where it is not asking to choose the account. Only contact option we provide, and we provide the option, right? For all that, you need to develop the UI. You need to develop the business logic when you interact with that UI page, and we also need to write the database comments, right? So that part we call as development. Okay, so that's why. So whenever there is a requirement in Salesforce, first we try with the administration. If it is possible with the point and click, we achieve the requirement with the point and click. If it is not possible, that time we have to do the development. That's why people ask, I want to learn Salesforce development, right? To work as a developer, we should also know about the admin, right? Because when the client provide requirement, they don't bother whether it is achievable with the administration or it is achievable with the development. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that's why we should, if you want to become as a developer, you should also know the administration. Maybe if you want to have only admin and work on admin, you can only do admin. But there will be more jobs in US and the other countries, but in India, limited jobs will be there for the Salesforce administration. In India, you should know both. Okay, so that's about that. Okay, now for now, as per the limitation, maybe I'm creating everything. Okay, so convert. Now we are converting that lead into account and the contact and the opportunity, right? So all those are converted. Now I'm opening the account. Here account means company. Contact means the person who is working in a company. Opportunity is a deal. So we should be very clear with that, right? So when you say I'm working on Salesforce, it is a basic thing. We need to know about the CRM, customer relationship management, and the standard applications, marketing, sales, and also service. So campaign, right? If someone say what is campaign, right, we should answer immediately, right? It is like advertising, right? So people understandable terminology. Campaign is the advertisement, right? So when you give advertisements, the leads will be generated. What is lead? Lead can be generated through advertisement. Some companies buy the leads. Some companies buy the leads, right? Sometimes when you register in the job portal, you also get calls for personal loans and all those things. So how they get, right? Job portals, they might sell your contact details to some other companies. They'll simply call and inquire, do you want a personal loan and all those kind of things, right? So one of the official way to generate the lead is advertisement. So when you say lead, so that company is having a information of a company or person. That person might be interested for the product, right? So that's the lead. Let's say when you have the bank account, right? Sometimes bank employees call and ask, do you want personal loan or home loan? So since we have the bank account, they are utilizing our information as a lead. Really, they don't know whether we are interested for the home loan or maybe personal loan. Simply they call and ask. Maybe that time if you have the requirement, you'll say, I want. Then they'll be converting, right? They will be converting you as a customer. So it's like that. Okay, lead is some information that person or the company might be interested about the product or service what the company is offering. Okay, so that is lead. We can say maybe in simple term, potential. People say potential customer, right? So that means still that person is not a customer. There is a chance that that person might be showing interest, right? We are not sure. So that is lead. If the lead is interested, lead will be converted into account, right? Here account means the company, right? So we need to go with one of the example and understand. Suppose for example, Apple company, right? We are working for Apple company CRM, right? When you say Apple company CRM, when you work for the Apple company CRM, right? So who is going to use the application, Apple CRM application? The employees of the Apple company, right? The employees of the Apple company, they use the Apple CRM. So all these are the users, right? When you work for the Apple company, when you log into the Apple production, all the employees of the Apple company, how they log in, there is a user, right? We create users. So if you see at present, we logged in as one of the user called Abhi, right? Abhi is one of the user. This user might create some other user for colleagues. They will also log in and access, right? So here Apple company employees are the users. Okay, so now in the Apple CRM, let's say TCS company, they need 100 laptops of Apple, okay, for the employees of the TCS company. So now when the TCS company approach, right, in the lead TCS company, and the person who approached from the TCS company will be there in the lead. When the lead is converted, now this account is the TCS company, right? TCS company. So Apple company is doing business with the TCS company, right? And who contacted from the TCS company? That person name, right? Let's say Ram is one of the person contacted. What they want, right? So what they want, that is a deal, right? Let's say they want 100 laptops, right? So deal for 100 laptops, right? So Ram, the employee of TCS company. This person is also employee. employee of the TCS company. Apple company employees are the users, right? This understanding we should have, right? So the Apple company, if they are using CRM, all their employees are the users. They log in and access. For them, they have customers. TCS company is one of the customers. TCS company employees, they store in the contact. And whatever the deals they are doing with the TCS company, maybe now they have 100 laptops requirement. After 1 year, they might be having requirement for 500 laptops, right? Again and again, they buy. Multiple deals might be associated with the same company. So not only TCS company, right? They might be having a relationship with one more company, let's say Wipro. They are also doing business with Wipro, right? Again, in the account table, they also store Wipro company. And also related to that Wipro, they maintain contacts, they maintain opportunities. Like that, hundreds of companies, they do the business. Okay, we need to understand like this. Okay, so maybe I'm giving the example of Apple. In the same way, when you deal with the Airtel company, internet, that time also you need to think like this and understand which one for which purpose we use. Okay, so just to understand these details. Okay, so now let me open that contact, I mean account and the contact, right? So mainly once the lead is converted, the next phase is for the sales representatives, right? So marketing team job is they conduct campaigns, they generate the leads, right? So they convince the leads to take the product. That's their job. Once the lead is converted, the sales team, they will be coming into picture and explain about the product and convince them to close the deal successfully, right? So sales team, they use sales application, right? So click on app launcher and the search for sales. I'm opening the sales application. So sales application on day to day, they open sales and if you see opportunity, so they click on opportunity and they see, if you see this is the newly generated opportunity, right? They'll click on this one. This is the deal. They need to work with this to close the deal successfully. To close this deal successfully, to whom they need to contact? Now, if you see this opportunity is related to this company, so immediately they click on this so that it opens that account. They understand what is this company. In this company with whom they need to contact. If you see contacts, they'll take that phone number or email and try to approach them and try to close the deal. So sales team mainly they deal with the opportunity, right? Opportunity is a deal. So what is the progress, right? So here if you see qualification, need analysis, let's say client is asking for the doing the negotiation, they are asking more discount, right? So all those things they mark and based on that they'll work. So mainly this application is used for sales team. Okay, now the next phase, let's say one of the sales rep closed this deal successfully, right? Once the deal is success, it will be marked as closed one. That means money will be generated for this company. So once after buying the product, let's say they bought some laptops or something, the next phase, there is a problem with one of the laptop. That time they'll call, right? That time how they maintain, this company maintains support team also. So there is an application called service, right? So support representative, whenever the customer reports a problem, that will be captured as a case. Case means support activity. It can be a problem or it can be any kind of support. Maybe installation request, right? Installation request and all those kind of things they'll create and they work on this case and close, right? So when you open the case, you see what is the subject of the case, right? So if you see this is information you are seeing, right? And also the status So it is closed, or what is the current status, someone started working. So all these kind of things, right? They'll mark and work. So mainly the support representatives, they work on this application, service application. So these are the standard applications. Okay, so whenever any customer, if they register with the Salesforce, they get all these standard applications. Maybe if the customer don't want CRM application, they can take the license in such a way they can only get the platform and use the platform. That is also possible. So based on the requirement, they need to sign up for one of the edition. When we talk to Salesforce sales team, they will suggest which is suitable, right? So that's about the standard applications. And on top of these applications, client will be having a requirement. Right now, if you see Airtel company, let's say this user and some other users, they explored all these applications. Now they have some idea. Now on top of this, I think here we are assuming Airtel company, right? So if you assume the Airtel company, so on top of that, they have 100 requirements. They identified 100 requirements. They cannot use those applications as it is. For now, they can use, but in long term, they want to mold those applications as per the Airtel company requirements. They have 100 requirements, but Airtel company, they don't have IT team, right? So now what they'll do, they'll invite some companies for bidding, maybe TCS, Wipro, and some of the companies. Let's say Wipro company, they won the bidding. Okay, Wipro company, they won the bidding for Airtel project. Okay, in general, mostly when you get the job, will be getting the job in Wipro and some of the service-based companies, right? So this Wipro company, they'll allocate a manager, maybe one team lead, maybe let's say 4 team members. Okay, maybe we'll be joining as a team lead or one of the team member, right? So once we join in the Wipro company, they say they are assigning us to one of the project, Airtel company project, right? So these are Airtel company requirement, right? So now we need to start working for these requirements. In the process of working for these requirements, some requirements we can achieve with the point and click. Some requirements we need to do the coding. So based on that, we have administration module for point and click, and for coding, we have the development module. The duration for admin is 1 month. The duration for the development is 2 months. Maybe after 3 weeks, I might extend this from 1 hour to 2 hours. If I take like that, the entire training will be completed within 2 months. Okay, so that's the thing. So with this, we are done with the demo. Okay, tomorrow we continue. Tomorrow, most important thing, how the project starts, right? Now it's like, as you understand that you got the job. Now we joined in Wipro as one of the team member. Now how we start the work, how we get the requirement. Mostly if some of you are from non-IT or you don't have any experience with working, okay? So they are wondering how they get the requirement. Do they send email, or they call and tell, or they share Excel, or how? All those kind of things, step by step. Really in a project, how we work, those things we'll discuss and continue with the other major points. Okay, so maybe since this is demo, I need to make you to understand many things. Mostly here I'm explaining theoretically, right? Once we are done with this theory part and understanding the basics, everything will be practical. I'll be taking some requirements and daily we are going to configure. 90% everything is practical. That means I'll be logging into Salesforce and I'll say I'm clicking on setup and I'm configuring one of the application. I'm configuring one of the object means table. All those things we do. That is going forward. Okay, so we are done for today. From tomorrow, we start with the regular sessions. Right? So before ending today, so any questions, anyone?
have one doubt.
Yeah.
Actually, as of now, what you have taught that regarding that Salesforce, that campaign part and that marketing part and sales. These are like end user point of view, right? I mean, the end user will use, means who are the persons using the Salesforce end user, like they usually use this sales and marketing part. So I mean, I want to just ask that what is the exact role of Salesforce administrator? Means what exactly the role?
Yeah, understood. That's what, right now you understood how we use these applications, right?
Yeah.
Now they will be having a requirement. So for example, when you go to this, let's say, let me open the opportunity. Okay. Client is using opportunity, whatever the standard one is there, they are using. But one of the client requirement is at present in the opportunity stage, they are only seeing these values, right? They want to introduce few more values, right? They don't want whatever by default the Salesforce is offering. Instead of these values, they want some other set of values. They provide the values. I want these values and the configure. That we need to configure as an administrator, right? And also when you are creating the opportunity, maybe if you are closing the opportunity, right? Closed one, right?
Yeah.
And saving.
Yeah.
When you mark a closed one and saving, and if you are not entering amount, they don't want to allow
Okay.
to save. When you are saying closed one, how much amount the deal is, right? So you need
Okay.
to enter, then only it should save. By default, without that also you can save. They'll say,
Okay.
I want the user to enter that amount if you are choosing the stage to closed one. Then we need to work for
Okay.
that as an administrator. So like that, there are many scenarios, right? All those things I'll be explaining practically. So these are few
Okay.
things, right? Maybe out of those 100 requirements, these are two things. We have remaining 98 requirements, right? All those different possibilities, how they ask, we will be working, okay, as part
Okay.
of the
Oh,
administration. If the scope is
okay.
not possible with the administration, the configuration, we
Okay.
also need to do the coding. For that, we have the development. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
So any
Hi,
other
Srini.
questions? Yeah.
It's
Hi.
yeah. Hi, Srini. What's a class timing actually?
The same timing, right? Now, whatever, you know, the current
Yes.
timings, right?
Okay. IST, right? Oh, I'm in EST US actually. So 2 hours class or 1 hour?
So first 3 weeks, only 1 hour. After
Okay.
3 weeks, 2 hours.
Okay. And I'm from non-IT background. Will I able to under the codings will be for development, Salesforce development? The coding will be easy or it will be
In general, I'll be explaining from very basics, right? So I'll start from what is a program and how
okay?
we need to write the program. From that, I'll start. So
Okay.
as soon as you follow, I think it will be easy.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So when I start development again, that time I'll take 3 demos. Again, 3 sessions you can join for free. And really, if you are comfortable, then you can continue. It's like that.
Okay. Okay. And you will explain, give the demo how it works in real-time scenarios about both in
Yes.
admin and okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm saying, right, that these 100 requirements,
Yes.
I'll be coming up with some requirements. In the
Okay.
process of achieving the requirements, the
Mhm.
different options, whatever we have, we'll be using
Okay.
all those things.
Okay.
Once you get the job on day to day, we mostly do the same kind of things. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So any other questions, anyone?
The first
Okay.
3 weeks is admin, right?
Yeah, first 3 weeks, yeah, admin, and after that development. Okay. And also, there are many things apart from whatever I teach in the class. So the many things I'll be giving as some requirements as assignments. And also going forward, I'll provide some instructions how you can access the class account, how I'll be sharing the notes and the recordings and all those things. Tomorrow, I'll explain all those things. Apart from what we discuss in our training, you'll be having some assignments you can work. I'll also give some references where you can practice more. All those things we see. Okay. Yeah. We are done for today. From tomorrow, there is a change in the meeting link. Okay. So if you are interested, so you need to pay the fee and so that you will get the updated meeting link and you can join and continue. Okay. Yeah. Before ending, any other questions?
Srini, this is Uma.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like you mentioned earlier, like Trailhead and Trailblaze.
Yeah.
So, do we need to log in with our own credentials for that, just to read also, or do we need to, for any certifications only, we need to log in there?
So it's not only for certifications.
Uh,
As a Salesforce administrator developer, to improve our skills, you can in general log in and have your profile. Okay. So you can. So I think if you see right here, I also mentioned we have the trailhead for the practice, right? So here, this is the one. Okay,
okay,
so
what is the
let me
difference,
move.
this Trailhead and Trailblazer? I can see both two
Yeah,
different screens actually.
yeah. So trailhead is where you can see all the modules and all the trainings. And when you do these trainings, Salesforce they award some points. Okay, so those points and when you do the certifications to showcase your certifications, all those things we use the trailhead profile. Okay, so now if you see, I'm trying to log into my trailhead account. Okay, so in trailhead basically you see all the different projects and the modules and trail mixes, many things which you can practice. When you do practice, if you see on top right, I have many points and badges. And if you want to showcase your profile, right, to someone, if you want to showcase your profile, you have these many points and you have some certifications. You can click on profile. Okay. So this is a Trailblazer. Here, this URL can be whatever you want. Change to whatever you like. It's like your own name. All those things you can give. Okay, this is your URL. As soon as it is available, you can have that one. And if you see here, you can showcase how many points you have, how many badges, how many certifications you have. Right? All. If you want to follow some of your colleagues and someone, if you know someone and you want to follow them, so all those things, this Trailblazer profile will be useful. Okay.
Okay.
So these points will be generated based on the trainings what we take here. Okay, more about this tomorrow I'll explain. Right?
Oh yeah.
So which
Thanks.
module you need to follow and all those things I'll explain tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, can you say a few things about the fee payment?
So that you can call me personally. Okay.
Okay, like, can I
Or you
call
can,
to your WhatsApp number?
yeah, you can call me. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So any other questions? Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
sir.